All of us want to find ways to get rich quick, and sometimes that fortune we're looking for isn't far away, maybe buried in a garden or in a pile of junk in an attic, or a sale, just waiting for that lucky person to unearth it. Some people might spend their entire lives searching for that stroke of luck, and for some it might stumble right into their laps. In today's episode of Top Trending, we feature the 10 luckiest discoveries that have made people rich beyond their wildest dreams. At number 10 on our list is a construction worker's accidental discovery of the first comic book where Superman made an appearance. David Gonzalez of Hoffman, Minnesota decided to go out on a limb and purchase for $10,100 an old house that was to be torn down. He wanted to renovate it and hopefully make a profit reselling it, but little did he know what the house had in store for him. While he was pulling down the ceiling, he found a bunch of newspapers that had been stuffed in as insulation materials. Amongst these papers was a 1938 volume of Action Comics #1, which introduced the character of Superman and is now considered the most valuable comic book of all time, with only about 100 known copies in existence. As can be expected after 70 years of being used as padding, the book was not in great condition, and it became worse as David accidentally tore the back cover a few days after finding it. Nevertheless, he was able to sell the comic in an online auction for $175,000. And the house? He continued renovating it, but now vows that he will never sell it. Here's a place that thousands of people visit every week hoping to get lucky. The Crater of Diamonds State Park in Arizona offers its visitors a unique experience, hunting for diamonds in the open fields. And if you're lucky enough to find a diamond, it's yours to keep. Over 32,000 diamonds have been found at the park since it opened in 1972. But since most of the diamonds found are small, there are only a few fortunate ones who have converted the now $10 entrance fee into a fortune. Most notable among those is W.W. Johnson of Amarillo, Texas, who was vacationing with his family in 1975 when he found a rough white diamond weighing over 16 carats. Christened the Amarillo Starlight, the diamond was cut into a 7.5 carat marquise shape and is estimated to be worth between $150,000 and $175,000. Don't give up hope though. In March 2017, 14-year-old Carl Langford hit the jackpot when he found a 7.5 carat dark brown diamond 30 minutes into his visit to the park. The Hand of Faith is the largest gold nugget in existence today. It was found in 1980 in Victoria, Australia by prospector Kevin Hillier. For 18 months, he'd been living in a caravan with his wife Bep and their 4 children, struggling to make ends meet as they traveled around Australia. Bep, a firm believer in the Christian faith, had been praying consistently for guidance and a helping hand to keep their family living comfortably. And it seems like God truly answered her prayers when Kevin literally struck gold. He was investigating a spot where his metal detector had gone off and found this 27-kilogram hunk of gold resting in a vertical position, just 12 inches under the surface of the ground. Kevin and Bep dug up the nugget and hefted it into their caravan, naming it the Hand of Faith, as from some angles it looked like a hand delivering a blessing. Their find received huge publicity in the Australian media, and they sold the nugget for a whopping $1 million to the Golden Nugget Casino in Las Vegas, where it is still on display. We've all heard of a lucky penny, but can you imagine a single penny being worth a fortune? San Diego real estate agent Randy Lawrence suddenly found that he was the owner of a unique penny, minted in 1974 and made of aluminum, at a time when the rising costs of copper forced the United States Mint to start experimenting with other metals. Almost all of the aluminum cents that they minted were recalled and destroyed after it was found that they didn't work in vending machines and didn't appear on X-ray scanners. One of these coins, it appears, was given to Lawrence's father when he retired as deputy superintendent of the Denver Mint. After his death in 1980, it remained in a plastic sandwich bag together with his collection of about 300 other coins, until Lawrence suddenly discovered them and took them to a coin dealer in 2014. They were amazed when their research revealed how rare this one coin was, since there were only 2 other known examples of such coins, including one that was presented by the Mint to the Smithsonian Institution, and the penny was valued at anywhere between $250,000 and $2 million. At number 6 on our list is the incredible story of Bobby, who was an opal miner for over 40 years in Australia before he fell on hard times and decided to quit, selling all his mining equipment to a friend. All he had left with him was one last bucket of rocks, and for old time's sake he decided to look through them. As he was rubbing one of the grimy rocks clean of the dirt and cemented sand, he caught a flash of blue, green, and gold, and lo and behold, there it was, the jewel he had always been looking for. He spent the next 2 years chiseling away the rocky husk with a dental drill, and his effort brought to life a 306-carat gem-quality opal. He was so frightened that it would be stolen that he slept with it under his mattress for the next 12 years, not disclosing its existence to a single soul, considering himself the guardian of one of God's greatest creations. We're not sure what brought about a change in his mindset, because in 2013 the jewel was put on sale for a cool $3 million. We're not sure where the opal, or Bobby, is now. This 19th century American artist might not have been very popular during his own lifetime, but owning his paintings has been a life-changing discovery for more than one person. In 1999, an anonymous Indiana resident was playing the Parker Brothers board game Masterpiece when he saw that one of the paintings featured in the game was very similar to one that he had at home, that he bought a few years ago for next to nothing to cover up a hole in the wall. Curious about its provenance, he searched the internet and got in touch with an art dealership, which authenticated the painting as Heed's Magnolias on gold velvet cloth, and also put him in touch with the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston, which paid a cool $1.25 million for the painting. Earlier that year, Christie's auction house in London sold a Heed painting called Two Magnolias on Blue Plush for $882,500. Its owner had bought the same painting 10 years before in a rummage sale in Wisconsin for $29. These are not the only such stories. In 1996, a lady bought a pair of Heed paintings at an Arizona garage sale for $100. She sold them both in an auction later that same year for a total of $1,072,000. Now that's a good reason to splurge at your next neighborhood garage sale. At number 4 on our list is a real story of discovering buried treasure. It begins with Peter Watling, a resident of Suffolk in England, losing his hammer in a field he was working in. He asked his friend Eric Laws, an amateur metal detectorist, to help him find it. As Laws was searching through the field, he started finding some valuables: silver spoons, gold and silver coins, and even pieces of gold jewelry. He immediately notified the city council, who were the owners of the land, and they sent in an archaeological unit to excavate the place the next day. What they found was history, the largest hoard of Roman gold and silver ever found in the United Kingdom, dating back to the 4th century. The collection included over 200 gold and silver artifacts and over 15,000 gold and silver coins. The Hoard was taken over by the British Museum, but as per the law, the government had to reward the finder with money equivalent to its market value. So in 1993, the British Crown paid to Eric Laws £1.73 million, equivalent to about $2.5 million, a sum which he decided to share equally with his friend Peter Watling, a huge reward indeed for losing just a hammer. At number 3 on our list of the luckiest discoveries that made people rich is the copy of the Declaration of Independence that an unnamed man found inside a torn painting. He purchased the old country scene for $4 at a flea market in Adamstown, Pennsylvania, mostly because he liked the frame and wanted to reuse it. When he got home and tried to dismantle it, the frame broke, but hidden in the picture backing was an old folded document. A Civil War memorabilia collecting friend advised him to have it appraised, and turns out that it was a Declaration of Independence that had been printed at the instructions of the Continental Congress on the 4th of July 1776 to carry the news of America's independence to citizens across the 13 colonies. We'll never know how this particular copy ended up in this painting, but there were only 23 other known copies of this historic document, only 2 of which were in private hands. It was sold in auction in 1991 for $2.42 million, more than double the sum that had been anticipated. A declaration of financial independence indeed, for the lucky finder of this treasure. Number 2 on this list is also a buried treasure hoard that was found in the county of Staffordshire, England. For many years, Terry Herbert had been asking landowner Fred Johnson for permission to search his farmland with a metal detector, and an exasperated Fred finally agreed in July 2009. Over the next 5 days, Terry found 244 gold objects of different sizes on the freshly plowed field, and as required by law, he notified the authorities. Their excavation revealed the most important Anglo-Saxon treasure ever found in England, a collection of over 1,300 exquisitely carved gold, silver, and jeweled items, many of them designed for battlefield use. In total, there was about 5 kilograms of the purest gold and about 2.5 kilograms of silver. The treasure was valued at £3.285 million, which the Birmingham Museum raised through a public appeal so that it could acquire the hoard in its entirety. The law, though, had changed in 1996 to require the reward to be paid not just to the finder, but also to the owner of the land on which it was found. So Fred Johnson and Terry Herbert were each paid over £1.6 million, or $2.6 million for the Staffordshire hoard. A blessing, one would think, but it appears that it has been a curse on their friendship, because the pair have not spoken to each other since the treasure was found. At the top of our list is the miraculous story of a Midwestern scrap dealer who was combing through a flea market when he chanced upon a heavy bejeweled gold object. He bought it for about $14,000, hoping that he could sell it forward for a $1,000 profit to someone who'd melted down for the gold and jewels. He was unable to find any buyers who thought it was worth more than what he had paid for it, but he still believed in the value of the piece and turned to the internet to try and find out more about it. His search results flabbergasted him. He was in possession of the legendary Third Imperial Egg, made to order for the Russian Tsar in 1887 by jeweler Carl Fabergé. He couldn't believe his luck and flew to London to consult the Fabergé egg expert mentioned in the online article. The expert was equally stunned by the photographs he saw and flew back to America with the scrap dealer to verify the discovery. And right there, in a modest home next to some muffins on the kitchen counter, was the fabulous handcrafted Easter egg that had been believed lost for over 90 years. A purchase was quickly arranged on behalf of an unidentified private collector who reportedly paid $33 million for this emperor's gift. That's a profit of $32,985,000 more than what this lucky man was hoping to make from his flea market purchase. That's our list of the 10 luckiest discoveries that made people rich. Did you agree? Disagree? Do you know of other such strokes of luck that people have made a fortune from? Let us know in the comments section. We love hearing from you. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like the video, share with friends, and subscribe to Top Trending for more regular countdown videos such as this one.